Actually, the Sand Springs Education Foundation was a party, and it was a celebration how it was founded. And it was a celebration of the Monty Box Company after being in business 30 years in Sand Springs. And Monty's vision was always to try to give back to the community, give back to the schools. And so he thought that it would be appropriate to have what was called the Box Supper. That took place in December 6th of 1988 as a fundraiser. So with that, they had a chicken dinner at the Charles Page High School cafeteria. Your entry into the dinner was just a box. If you had a box, it could contain a check, it could contain some materials for art, it could contain anything. There wasn't anything too small or too big that wouldn't get you into the dinner. And so anyway, that's really what started the Education Foundation. It actually formed in 1989, the year after that, as a 501c3 nonprofit. And it was actually at the Box Supper that Monty Box matched $5 grand and gave to the superintendent at the time, Wendell Sharpton. Then in 1990, they came up with a founding donors dinner, and that was really the support mechanism for the capital that would be used for the initial investment for the upcoming grants the next year. Then in 1991, the Sand Springs Education Foundation was able to award the first group of grants, and that was in the tune of about $9,684. Well, when you compare that to today, then last year, 2014, then we, as a foundation, awarded the Sand Springs Public Schools right at $96,000. So really a nice accomplishment through the years, and you can tell it's really had a lot of growth. We're enjoying that. We've celebrated our 25th year and now in our 26th year as a foundation. The mission really for the foundation is quite simple, and it's just the primary purpose is just to be a private partner with the Sand Springs schools and then provide grants to just help with different programs and teaching projects when there's no funds available at any level. The Sand Springs Education Foundation board consists of 13 board members. We recruit as heavily as we can good Sandites that we feel like are good business leaders and feel like that they would be supportive of the school system. And once you have committed to being a board member, then it is a 3-year commitment. You have a chance to re-up one time, so the maximum term that you could serve as a board member would be a 6-year term, and then you're required to sit out 1 year before you can rejoin the board if the board chooses to bring you back on.
You know, the Education Foundation Board of Directors is a group of people in the community that really believe in students, and the working relationship that they have in this community is one that is primarily and almost exclusively focused on how can we help the school district. Now, that's enhanced by an executive director. It's modestly paid, but very committed to the school district. And you know, she takes advantage in this state. President Bourne at the University of Oklahoma has established throughout the state foundations and has an annual meeting. And through that process, there's been handbooks developed that assist local boards in governance and in different ways that they can help their local schools. And so, you know, between the original bylaws that was established before I came, but certainly with the leadership of Monty and the Board of Education at the time in tandem, you know, they made it very clear that the whole purpose here and the whole mission is to assist this school district being the best they can be for its students. And there's not a meeting that goes by in an Education Foundation monthly meeting that's held, very, very consistent, very well attended, as Mr. Luttrell said. Once you commit to the Education Foundation, then you know you're a real advocate. And even though it is a struggle at times because it is some time commitment, and quite candidly, not just time commitment but resources There's not a member of that foundation in my 16 years here that hasn't given handsomely, both in their time and in their personal resources, to assist the foundation's corpus to grow, and it has grown to well over $1 million, and to provide more and more grants to students and teachers every year. But so the working relationship is one of mutual respect, core values that are kind of in display in Sand Springs. Our founder in Sand Springs, Charles Page, he was a philanthropist. That his philanthropy continues to this day, and his whole way of life was focused around two words: think right. And we kind of let that guide us, not only as a Board of Education, but certainly as an education foundation and as a community. And the way that we think right is that, we understand and we truly believe with passion that investing in your local school is a great investment in the community's future. And that's I think demonstrated as recently as in June of this year. Our board authorized a summer bond election supported by our Education Foundation, which is kind of unusual for a lot of different reasons, but the turnout was as good as if we were having school, and it was passed by 91%. And I believe the reason for that is that working relationship is one of mutual respect and mutual understanding of how each can help the other, and all focused on kids. But the guidelines that the Education Foundation Board of Directors have in their handbooks are certainly helpful. The commitments that they sign, they literally sign a pledge to serve on the board. And in my 16 years, and I suspect in the totality of the time the foundation has been functioning, there's been so little issues along the way with board of directors not only just helping, but really in a very robust way supporting the foundation's mission and certainly supporting the school district. Now, has there been some challenges along the way? There always is. As Mr. Luttrell said, this is a busy time in our life and in the world, and folks in every community, and we're not exempt, sometimes struggle to find the time to devote to civic work, and we've been able to accomplish that very well, but I know it's a challenge, and it's an ongoing challenge. Another challenge that we would have, and I think any school district with a foundation or a similar support group, is following the money. How do you account for the money? How do you do that in a manner that it's all very transparent and that the projects that are funded get done? And I think that's at times have been a little awkward, but not really, in that one of the things that we have done from get-go, and I think Sylvia Fouché, the executive assistant's relationship with our business office and her meetings that are held regularly is very helpful about being transparent on projects that were funded and what was the final cost and what were the balances, and is there more money required or less money required, and so reporting, I think, is important from the foundation projects, and we take that serious. And I think that creates the kind of environment that we all are on the same page, and there's a lot less room for miscommunication or for what I consider to be unnecessary distractions. Also would say that the challenges that we all face, and I've alluded to it a little bit, is just the resources. The bottom line is our foundation has doubled and tripled their investments in our children, but our needs are just continue to climb. And they've stepped up on a couple of different occasions, and Mr. Mullins, our Board of Education, I'm sure will talk about our Operation Gold Pride and some of the big projects that's been done over the years that really was a bridge for this school district to remain somewhat stable in some very unstable financial times. So, there's always challenges, but as far as the people challenge, what I've noticed in my years serving this community is Board of Education members and Education Foundation members are all just unbelievably strongly advocating for this school district, and whenever there are some maybe differences, or maybe we should fund this grant and not that grant, when it's all said and done, after the robust conversations are held, everybody leaves that room feeling really good about what's been done. And so the challenges, I think, is having sufficient funds to fund all the grants. I know the foundation board of directors would like to double what they are doing, but I can tell you from being at the schools and working with our students and staff, you know, the appreciation that they feel from not just our education foundation, but our Board of Education is genuine, and I think it creates an environment where best work can be done with students, and I think that's what's happening in Sand Springs. There is an application process that's online, and the Education Foundation has a website, of course, as well as our website. And at the beginning of the year, Mike Luttrell, our chairman, will welcome our teachers back and talk about the grants. At the end of the year, he will come back and kind of give an executive summary of the year. So there's always a profile, but there's a process that teachers fill. It's a pretty simple process. It's not a manifesto. It's pretty much a 1 or 2 page document, basically just giving the focus of the need or the grant that they're going to add to their curriculum. Our Board of Trustees, they love to see a lot of creative, out-of-the-box thinking, and they'll usually get, I'm going to say they'll average 70 to 100 grant a year, and a committee from the Board of Trustees of the Education Foundation, along with others in the community, will meet with our assistant superintendent that's in charge of curriculum and instruction, who's another very talented person in our world, and they will sit in a room and develop what they think would make the most difference for children in this community, at which time they will bring that to a foundation board of directors meeting, which it will get another full conversation, and with that, action will be taken and those grants will be funded. And the exciting part of that is right before the Christmas semester break, Board of Foundation Trustees will surprise the students and teachers all across the district with those grants, and oftentimes television cameras will be in play and reporters, and it's just a great celebration. But that's pretty much the process.
The Board of Education in Sand Springs does a tremendous job of working with the schools. We have a great team of teachers and administrators, but the other partner that we have is the Education Foundation in Sand Springs Schools. And what makes it unique and for us and exciting for us as the Board of Education is that we work independently. We're both doing the same thing. We're both taking care of kids, keeping kids and the school district at the forefront, but we work independently. We don't meddle into what they do. They don't meddle into what we do. And it makes it great that way because we recognize that we're partners. We recognize that the things that we're doing are benefiting all of our stakeholders, and we just have that opportunity to just go out and share different things. Great things that the board of the foundation board has done for us. They get to work with us on things that we can't do as a publicly elected officials. The Board of Education consists of 5 publicly elected officials. Each one of us serves 5-year terms, and we represent the 20,000 residents in the city, which have about 5,200 students in our school. And our job or our mission is to make sure that the schools are run efficiently and effectively and the kids are getting an education. We take care of the resources, we allocate the funds, we approve policies, but most importantly, we elect a superintendent. The superintendent that we have in place today does a wonderful job of running the organization. He also leads in many different ways. One thing that he initiated when he started with our district 16 years ago was prior to each particular school board meeting, we have what we call Partners for Progress. This Partners for Progress is kind of a grassroots effort to allow the community to come before the school district and hear what's going on. Mr. Snow leads that meeting. We've been very fortunate to have the executive director of the Education Foundation attend those meetings as well. So we get a continuity of things going on between the school district and the Education Foundation. At these Partners for Progress meetings, we've done so many things as designing what our football field is going to look like, as to what the next bond issue is going to be. The challenge that we got as a Board of Education is that we can't commit funds to support bond issues, but the Foundation Board is able to do that. They were able to go out in 2004 when we had a real need in the community, and they raised over $600,000 to support the school. That allowed us to make some additions to some capital improvements in the district, but also allowed us to fund full-day kindergarten. I'll tell you that full-day kindergarten is such a success in Sand Springs, that in our pre-K program. Prior to the initiation of the full-day kindergarten, we'd have second, third grade teachers that were doing a wonderful job. But a few years after we initiated the full-day kindergarten pre-K program, they came to the Board of Education. They says, you know, I can't believe the difference that we're seeing in the kids. They come in, they can read, they can write. It's just a tremendous difference that we were able to make as a result of the help from the foundation. So something that we asked for, they stepped up and they did that. They also help us out in all kinds of bond issues. Mr. Snow alluded to, we had a bond issue election this past summer, which was highly unusual for us, but the success rate that we had made other districts around the state kind of step back and take notice, saying, what are you guys doing? And part of that I get to tell people around the state is that we've got tremendous support from the community leaders, and the Education Foundation is a great asset for us. Some of the projects that they've done for us, as Mr. Snow and Mike alluded to, the teachers, they get creative because they want to do different things. They want to be able to teach kids things outside of the box. And we use a lot of textbooks, we do a lot of resources, stuff like that, but there's sometimes that we just don't have the resources to do what we want to do, and so we challenge our teachers to come up with opportunities and ideas of what you can do or what you would like to do to make the learning environment more fun, because our motto is to create lifelong learners for our kids, and we want them to take what they learn in school and use that out in the real world. A couple of examples of projects that come to mind that I remember. One of our science teachers in the middle school, very creative gentleman, he put together a farm a couple of years ago in the campus, and they raised all kinds of vegetables, they did all kinds of things, and the kids really got into that. As a result of that, he took it a step further. He said, let's learn a little bit more about the environment. And so he wrote a grant. He's done this for 2 years now, where he put a weather balloon together. This weather balloon would go up into the atmosphere, and then they would chase this weather balloon for many miles, and they would record all the data that this thing was preparing, you know, the barometric pressure, the wind speed, the temperature, the altitude, and all that kind of stuff. So the kids could kind of see how things were going. It got a tremendous support from the kids in this, a lot of involvement from the kids. He even put the YouTube video for this particular thing, and that was just all as a result of having a grant from the Education Foundation. Another one, talking about broadcasting, we've got Sandite TV. And people sometimes ask, what the heck is a Sandite? And what we like to say about a Sandite is who you want to be. So that tells people that who do we want to be, and we go out and show who we want to be on Sandite TV. It's a bunch of kids that get together, and they have all the production equipment to produce live television shows. If we have an away football game, these kids will be producing the football game, and you can watch it on your iPad in the comfort of your home. They not only do the sporting events, they do a lot of the plays, they do a lot of just community meetings. We've had town hall meetings that were broadcast on Sandite TV. It's a great opportunity for the kids to learn a chance to learn things they can use in the real world when they get out of school. Another example was GPS. We're fortunate enough to have 6th grade or 5th grade camp. All of our 5th graders in a couple of our schools get the opportunity to go for a week long in the springtime to camp. They go spend the week out swimming and hiking and fishing, but they're also learning. One of the opportunities that the Education Foundation did was they awarded a teacher a few years ago GPS units. She uses these GPS units to put the kids on a trail to get them on a scavenger hunt. They have to learn how to navigate with a GPS unit and a compass, so they're finding their way around, real-world experiences. And then one I also like is BizTown. Junior achievement is big in Tulsa. Junior achievement allows the fifth graders to come into their environment, to their community, and they simulate a town with a bank, with a mayor, with a post office. Junior achievement is a tremendous opportunity, and the foundation allows the kids to go to that. They participate in that particular thing. So all in all, the Education Foundation is a great supporter of Sand Springs Schools. Again, we, as a Board of Education, we work independently, but we're doing the same thing. So we know that what we're doing and what they're doing is something that is benefiting the kids of Sand Springs, and we love it.
Yeah, I would just add that the things that sometimes that matter the most, you really can't, evaluate with money or the actual resources. I think the biggest investment that our Education Foundation has made and will make in many years to come is how students see the community and how they feel the connection to the community, and that intangible part of the development process and the schooling process is not just the ability to think and write and compute, but also the ability to think, how can I be a better citizen, and how can I be a part of solutions in communities that faces many challenges. And so when these Foundation Board of Directors and our Board of Education members, and when they come to our school sites and they give our teachers the message that you're everything in this community, you are our most valuable resource, and you're dealing with the most valuable resources, our children, that's a message that you just can't take for granted, and that's an investment that I believe that is equally as powerful as these wonderful grants that teachers are able to give to their students from year to year with the philanthropy from the foundation. So it works in Sand Springs, and I think it works in most school districts if the adults in leadership sets their egos aside or their anything aside other than how can we make a better place for kids and give teachers the message that they're valued in this community and what they're doing day in, day out.